2020 Game House Tour. I honestly don't get any video requests ever, but this is the one thing that I have ever had requested. My last room tour was in 2018. I'll leave that linked in the description down below if you'd like to watch that after this, or before to see what's changed. We're gonna be going over my living room, dining room, and game room today. So this is gonna be a long one. Sit back, get your popcorn and your gamer juice, and let's get started. Starting by our front door, I have this little bookcase that I like to refer to as my little 90s shrine. Here is where I like to keep all of my Game Boy games. I have a couple of Pokemon things. I have these really awesome Haunter pins that I won off of a giveaway by Pin2Bear Pins on Instagram. I have my Pokemon card book and a few tins in the background, along with a Detective Pikachu amiibo, this Pokemon Center clamshell, along with a Pokemon the Movie 2000 Lapras Burger King toy, papercraft of Coral, along with the Hollow Knight Hunter's Journal. Moving on to the shelf just below, we have all of my handheld Pokemon games, and to the right are all of my Japanese import Pokemon games. It includes all of the Game Boy Pokemon games aside from Fire Red and Leaf Green, and they are all complete in box. On the shelf below there, we just have a random shit shelf where I just keep all of my Blu-rays and random manga and art book that don't fit. And right below there are all of my art books, actually. I've been contemplating making an art book collection video one of these days, so let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments below. Oh, and there's a couple comics here on the end. And just to the left we have this Doctor Strange canvas from Hobby Lobby with a bunch of first four figure PVC boxes stacked on top. On top of the next bookcase, we have a few amiibo and card games of mine. The Lord of the Rings and Hobbit card games were actually found on consignment from a mom and pop board game shop over in Seattle, Washington. And just below there we have my first manga shelf, which includes a few anime memorabilia along with these Pearl and Marina amiibo from Splatoon. And my favorite piece on this shelf is most definitely my Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind textbook size mangas. They're not full color, but they do have quite a bit of color in them. And just below there is the rest of my manga. We also have my few video game soundtrack CDs up top on display, along with my Breath of the Wild soundtrack just below with the rest of my Breath of the Wild amiibo. I also have this Legend of Zelda Link to the Past full color manga, and another Pokemon clamshell, which this one is personally my favorite of the two. Here we just have a Catherine full body art book along with all of my boxed set mangas. And the rest of my manga. I've also contemplated making a manga collection video for you all. However, I'm not necessarily an anime channel, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. Also, peep the sealed copy of Berserk. And just below there we have the ever-heroic Bilbo Baggins protecting my DVD collection. With the rest of my board games just below. To the left of there, we have my Breath of the Wild shrine, which includes the special edition Nendoroid, the first four figures PVC of Link, and the special edition guidebook. I also have the Sheikah coin on display and this little music box that I got for Christmas, which happens to play my favorite Zelda song. On the next shelf, we have a couple of special editions for the PS4, along with the rest of my card games. Unfortunately, I only have the Asylum Demon expansion for the Dark Souls board game, so I still need to get my hands on the base game. But we have this starter deck that I got for free for the Dragon Ball Z card game, and my Final Fantasy XIV key thingamajig. Next up, we have my very small video game soundtrack vinyl collection. I definitely wish I had a lot more than I do, but they are unfortunately very expensive and oftentimes very hard to find. But next to that, we have this super cute Sailor Moon bottle opener, along with a few different special editions and my Spyro PVC statue from First Four Figures. On the next shelf, we just have my incense burner, which is of a little green dragon, because they are my favorite animal, along with all of my favorite old TV shows, so that includes Xena, She-Ra, and I Love Lucy. And this last shelf just has my last board game along with the rest of my DVD collection. It is a bit of a mess though because I am currently loaning out my One Piece treasure chest collection and those take up a lot of space, so things, yeah, they could look a lot better back here. Here we have my plushie pile of mostly Final Fantasy plushies and some other plushies that didn't fit in the game room. However, this particular Moogle plush was given to me for Christmas by my stepdad. It is Lulu's Moogle from Final Fantasy X. And those so happen to be my favorite Moogle design and my favorite Final Fantasy. So these shelves are home to my Nintendo shrine. Up top we have my BioShock 2 sealed copy that came with the collector's edition, alongside these lithographs that came with my guidebook. Here we just have a variety of Nintendo, well obviously they're made by Nintendo, amiibo, along with this Link's Awakening art card that I got in a fan gamer order. And here we have my Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past complete in box copy, as well as this box for Super Metroid. There's nothing in it. And down here we just have my random special editions. I also have this carrying case for the Game Boy Color and or Pocket. Moving down, I have a duplicate amiibo that was gifted to me with my favorite candle scent. It's very nostalgic for me, especially because I burned this while playing Fable back in the day. Then we have my SNES Classic and my Super Mario cereal that my fiance still threatens to open and eat on me, along with all of my steelbooks. I have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Final Fantasy 15, Dragon Quest 11, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ni no Kuni 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Dark Souls 3. Here we have my retro games and Xbox 360 games. Starting up top, we have all of my PS1 games. They're mostly Final Fantasy, big surprise, along with all of my retro Nintendo games ranging from NES to SNES to N64. And here we have all of my DS games that aren't Pokemon related, along with my Switch collection and the 2-disc PC games that I have. And this is my PS2 collection. This is the next collection video I've been considering making, as it is the next largest in comparison to my PS3 and PS4 collections, so let me know if you are interested in seeing that down below. But if I could make one recommendation, it would be this game. And down here we have all of my other 3DS games that aren't Pokemon related, my Wii U collection, Wii collection, GameCube collection, and Xbox 360 collection. Moving on to PS3. So I have already made a collection video of this in the past, however at the time I only had about 70 PS3 games, and I definitely have a lot more than that now. Not sure if it's enough to justify an updated collection video, but let me know if you're interested in seeing that below. Otherwise, I will leave a link to my original collection video in the description down below, or you can watch that here. Next, we have my guidebook collection, along with my Dragon Quest XI Collector's Edition. This is another collection that I've considered making a video on, as I absolutely love guidebooks and they're one of my favorite things to collect for, and I have over 50 of them. And between these two bookcases, I have the home of my beta fish, and he is a black orchid beta, and his name is Piccolo. There's also a snail in there, somewhere. And here we have the rest of my vinyl collection. It is the vinyl box set for the first two Lord of the Rings, alongside my Final Fantasy X gang in front. I do have all of the Final Fantasy X Kotobukiya 1/6 scale gallery art, statues, Play Arts Kai, I don't know. This is Play Arts Kai before Play Arts Kai became Play Arts Kai, basically. These released sometime around the launch for Final Fantasy X at GameStop, and they retailed for about $30 a piece, which, yeah, no, they definitely don't go for $30 now. Let's just say that. Have all of my PS4 games, which I've recently made a collection video on that you can watch either here or in the description down below when you're done with this video, so I won't talk about these for too long. And here we have my replicas of Archer's Blades from Fate's Stay Night, along with my microphone and laptop for capturing gameplay when I'm out here. And this is the gaming center. Here we have our 4K 65-inch TV from Samsung that my fiance had bought shortly before he and I got together, along with all of my consoles. This is my Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 Pro. I also have my GameCube, Wii, and Wii U down below. Then there's my beefy PS3, PS2, Genesis, and N64. And if you're wondering about that cable management, I have little paper labels for some cables, and for the ones that don't, I just rely on color-coded text to know which console's which. Then there's my Xbox 360, along with this little light-up Tom Berry, and all of my gaming collector cards that come with various statues and things. Here we have all of my handhelds. This is my Game Boy Advance from my childhood, actually. I still have my copy of Golden Sun in here, and my Game Boy Advance does still work, but unfortunately not enough to actually play games. This DS is also from my childhood. It still works like a charm. And then we also have my Game Boy Color. And this is my Game Boy Pocket that I found in the closet at my grandmother's in middle school. And we have my SNES Classic, plugged and ready to play. And there's Mario protecting my original 3DS that I received as a gift at launch. And my Nintendo Switch and new Pokeball 2DS. And on this half of the living room, the dining room, I want to start with my chameleon cage for my veiled Smeagol. We just recently built this new cage for him to upgrade from his old one. It's sitting at about 3 feet wide by 3 feet deep and 6 feet tall. I have my old Ficus and Pothos from his old cage sitting at the bottom that still need repotted. Here's Smeagol. He's usually quite friendly, but right now he doesn't seem like he wants to be seen, so we'll leave him alone. Here we have Sasha's little corner where her food and water go. And just below our dining table, we have her bed. I know, strange that it's under the dining table, right? But she actually loves being, like, covered by things. Like she's hiding? I don't know. So it's just there. On top of the table, I have this Sony speaker that I got for Dalen that changes lights and moves lights to the music. It's just idled right now, so it's not doing that. And our money tree. And over here on the windowsill, we have my graduation plaque, along with the BioShock 2 Collector's Edition, and a couple more plants. We just have some small cactuses and a little vine. And here is a work in progress. It's just the background so far, as I'm currently doodling what is supposed to go on the foreground. But I'm currently stuck between letting this sit as a diamond or a square, so let me know what you think, because I can't decide. Oh, and peep these BioShock posters that came with the special edition. Here we have my first 4 figures Link on Loftwing statue. I'd love to show it off a little more, but decided to break it while I was in the emergency room some time ago, so now it's like this. These are the few broken pieces that we did manage to find. Unfortunately, we couldn't find the rest. And down here we just have a bunch of random little knickknacks. Some dead flowers that came off of the first bouquet that my fiance ever gave me, along with some shot glasses and scotch glasses for Dragon Ball Z and Yakuza 6: The Song of Life. Then we have my record player, which is currently playing Hollow Knight, which is the soundtrack that I play like all the time. Big surprise! For anybody who may have sent me any letters in the past, here they are. This isn't all of the letters I've received, as I unfortunately don't have enough magnets. Here we have my first watercolor and first attempt at drawing an animal. So there you go. There's that. There's a lot of firsts right there. And here we have this super awesome shadow box holographic thing of Zelda and Sheik from Ocarina of Time. There's also this super cool Super Mario Kart canvas print from GameStop and this Zelda clock that I got several years ago. Here we have my paintings. First we have my precious Ton baby. That's what I like to call him. This is the first painting I've done in several years, honestly, and I love it to bits. And to the right, I actually just finished this painting of Kamari. I was going for a watercolor type look and I was using acrylic paints, and I whipped it out of my ass in about 2 days. And right beside him, I actually didn't paint these. I bought these from Target. They were like $5 a piece, and they're pretty cute. However, I did paint this little 8-bit style Gengar. This is the one and only commission I've ever received in my life, about 3 years ago. Then we have my I Love Lucy steel 10 that I've been lugging around since middle school, and this Final Fantasy X-2 promotional poster that was used to promote the game when it released, and I found it for like $30 on eBay. And last we have my aloe plant, which is way too chunky for its own good, and we need to use little branches to like support it. Also on this side of the pillar, there's nothing really exciting, but I do have these few Final Fantasy posters along with this super cool Japanese import PS2 memory card for Final Fantasy X-2 of Riku. I know that there's a Yuna and Riku version out there that I need to get my hands on someday. On to what everybody may or may not have been looking forward to, the game room. The main meat of my collection. The collectibles. First of all, I have a bunch of plushies flooding my ceiling. An extra gaming station, whether it's just for me to come in and hang out while Dalen's playing on his PC, or for any of our friends that come over to play some games. Starting with this first collectible shelf. At the bottom, there aren't any collectibles. This is usually where I keep all of my excess canvases and my paint supplies. And over here. But none of my paint supplies are here because I'm using them, so they're elsewhere. We have a little Roxas keychain along with a very derpy axle. And here is my Kingdom Hearts collection. And Nier collection. Starting with the Nier and Nier Automata stuff, we have my little figurine of 9S and a bunch of Automata blind box babies, which I actually got the entire set. But here we have my little figurine of Kaine from the original Nier. She is one of my favorite characters and favorite character designs, and I was so ecstatic to get this figure in my life. And she came with an Emil head that you can actually, like, put on her. Then we have this Final Fantasy XIV Meister quality arts figure of Shiva. And it does come with a code for Final Fantasy XIV to get her Diamond Dust. I don't know if it's expired yet or not. I should probably check on that. Moving into my Kingdom Hearts collection, right in front of this King Mickey figure, we have this pin that was sent to me by Mama Nerd during our gift swap a couple years ago. And here we have my copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, which is watched over by my static art gallery figures of Riku and Sora. And the Kingdom Hearts 3 pin that came with the Deluxe Edition. Front and to the right, we have my Kingdom Hearts 3 Deluxe Edition figures of the Toy Story versions of Donald, Sora, and Goofy, with all of the pops in the back. And here we have the Zelda Shelf. Zelda Shrine, I don't know. It's the thing that has Zelda like everywhere. Anyway, this is a little World of Nintendo collection for Wind Waker, along with my Dark Horse statue of Skyward Sword Link. I also have this really cute Deku Shield purse in the back, and this light up Navi that I got for my birthday. We also have a Link Between Worlds UDF figure along with a 4-hole ocarina that was also sent to me by Haley. Then we also have my Twilight Princess Link UDF in front of my Dark Horse Link statue. And just behind him is the Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses official program that was also sent to me by Haley in our gift swap. And here are all of my Majora's Mask related collectibles. Finally, Final Fantasy. This is what I like to refer to as my modern Final Fantasy shelf. Realistically, anything that came after 10. We have figures from 12, 13, and 15, and Dissidia NT. We have the bust that came with the collector's edition for Dissidia NT of the Warrior of Light. I also have this figure of Lightning, and the Ramen Noodle crew chilling with the ramen noodle cups. And these ramen noodle cups were made in promotion for Dissidia NT when it released, and were actually sent to me by my friend Sushi Fairy here on YouTube. And then we just have the Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age collector's edition busts of all the judges, along with a 1/6 scale figure of Judge Gabronth, and more noodles! Next shrine is dedicated to Final Fantasy VII. On the left-hand side, we have all of my Final Fantasy VII Remake-related statues, Vincent Valentine being the favorite. I also have the Static Arts Gallery figure of Vincent. I also have the limited color variant of the Final Fantasy VII Remake version of Cloud. Beside him we have the original Play Arts Kai figures of Red 13 and Kate Sith. I definitely want to get my hands on the new ones, but they are so hard to find. I also have this Static Arts bust of Sephiroth. Beside there we have my Advent Children versions of Cloud and Barret. And on top of this bookcase, we have my Sonic Mania Collector's Edition, along with a bunch of Pokemon knickknacks. I also have my statue of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Collector's Edition, Son Goku, and my first 4 figures, Raccoon Mario. I also have this Rabbid Mario and this Bowser. And here in front, we also have my Luigi's Mansion 3 Polter Pup Edition from first 4 figures. You're probably gonna hear that name a couple more times.
Now it's time to get the Cubone.
Moving on to the next shelf, we have the box for my Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 Pro, along with all of my Fire-type Pokemon collectibles. I also have the Dishonored 2 Collector's Edition Corvo mask on display. This is actually my very first collector's edition ever. And this little Mocha figurine from Rosario and Vampire. Then we have a little Zubat and Sableye in front of this gorgeous Silent Hill bobblehead nurse statue. Moving down to our next shelf, we're gonna see the Dragon Quest XI pre-order lanyard, along with the bunch of random items. Here we have the Destiny 2 limited edition that was gifted to me by a friend with all of the little bits and bobs that come with it and some pre-order bonuses of Cade 6. Then we move into the Borderlands Collection. Not much going on here, just a Tiny Tina and a Claptrap along with some patches and pins. And then there's this little Dark Souls 2 figure that I got from GameStop with all of my duplicate copies of Dark Souls for PS4. Along with this Mortal Kombat 10 collector's edition statue and this Nina Williams figure from Tekken. And on this next shelf, this is the Souls Shelf. It's rather empty, I know. This shelf is specifically home to the statues that came from the collector's editions for Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This letter opener is actually the pre-order bonus for Sekiro. And this shelf is very expensive. These are all of my gecko statues for Soulsborne. And I found them for retail prices, or even cheaper than retail prices, honestly. I was definitely happy about that. However, they are very, 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 very hard to find now for anybody who's interested, so I'm sorry, I don't know where you can do that. But we're gonna start with Siegmeyer, the Onion Knight. This baby is 13 pounds and fully ceramic, and if you would like to watch me unbox it very cringily, I'll leave the link to that in the description down below. It is a fairly old video, so be warned. And here we have my Bloodborne doll. This one in particular is one of my absolute favorite collectibles that I own. But next to her we have my Oscar of Astora statue, which is beautifully detailed, and he actually came with this crystal lizard as a pre-order bonus. And this is just another random shelf. Starting on the left, we have all of the Game Informers that Dalen and I have collected over the years, along with a few excess art books that didn't have a home otherwise. Then we have this bootleg Sega Terulev Darkness figurine, and this yeah, I made that. Over here is my Kakashi Nendoroid with the Futurama Dorbs and a you okay? And here we just have a few more geeky pins of Voltron and Goku Black. Here I have a Fate Stay Night Saber Alter figure along with the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 art book and some more random knickknacks. At the bottom of this next bookcase, I just have a bunch of random books. Well, there is the start of Dalen's collection. Here he has a Star Wars Lego figurine along with the first of many of these Star Wars steelbooks that I got for his birthday a couple years ago, and this Deadpool taco truck, and all of his magic cards, and this Back to the Future hoverboard replica from Loot Crate. On the next shelf, we have this Tiny Tina Claptrap, along with a Mass Effect weapon, more Star Wars steelbooks, along with this World of Warcraft Illidan Stormrage figure. Here we have the Deadpool to the taco truck, along with the Spider-Man Collector's Edition statue, and a Fallout Pip-Boy, along with a little R2-D2. Next shelf, we have a Naruto Uzumaki figurine, with more Star Wars steelbooks, a Mass Effect figure, and a Witcher 3 figure of Triss. There's also this D&D figurine that came in Loot Gaming several years ago with some various Funko Pops of Doom Guy and Shax with this BB-8 and C-3PO standee. To start this shelf, we have Emily's ring from my Dishonored 2 Collector's Edition with some more Destiny Pops, this Fallout 4 figure, and yet another Star Wars steelbook, along with the Nuka-Cola Girl Fallout figure, and a Halo helmet and phone-operated R2-D2 type thing. And the top of this bookcase is home to my God of War Stonemason edition and my Bulbasaur shrine. Yeah, I really like Bulbasaur. We're finally to the computer, and where I do all of the things that you see on the screen right now. Well, this isn't my computer, it's my fiance's computer, so I use it purely for editing because he's on it like 97% of the time because this is where he games. So I don't know anything about the PC or its specs, but if you would like to get the case at least, this is the sticker that came with it, so I assume that's the company name also. But here we have his Nintendo Switch and his Razer Kraken Pro headphones. We also have the Razer Chroma keyboard, so it has pretty much every color in the rainbow, along with the mouse to match, and a Deadpool booby mouse pad. Here we have this Super Smell Good candle from Bath & Body Works, along with the rest of my first 4 figures statues. Here I have my Praise the Sun Solaire statue, along with all of my super deformed statues. And here on the right we have my full resin statue of Dragon Slayer Ornstein, which I also made an unboxing video of. If you'd like to watch that, I'll leave that here and in the description down below. And just behind him we have just a little Dark Horse figurine of Ciri. Moving on to the side of the room that nobody cares about, yeah, it looks awkward, I know. But I was originally planning on putting a couch here, but since we are planning to someday get me my own PC so I can edit as I please, we're actually planning to build another desk to put here. Off to the right, we have our Culligan jug, courtesy of our landlord, along with all of our hats between me and Dalen. Well, most of them. There's a few too many hats to go over here. Another Melty Vader tapestry from Waz shop. These are all of our geeky backpacks that we like to have on display. The Rick and Morty one is Dalen's and the rest are mine. Unfortunately, I did have to take my Zelda backpack to work for a day, so it did get a little dirty. But at the bottom we have the Destiny 2 Collector's Edition messenger bag and this BioShock Big Daddy backpack that came with this little sister plushie keychain. That's super adorable. Well, that's it. That's the house. That's my stuff. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about all of those collection video ideas in the comments down below. Which ones you would like to see the most and which ones that you don't really care about seeing. Yep, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my house tour and I hope you come back for more. Yep, that's the line. That's how I'm ending this. Goodbye.